Hello Scorpio, welcome to your Lughnasadh reading. So if you do not know about Lughnasadh, that's okay, not a lot of people do. It is part of the Celtic Wheel of the year, so it sits at August 1st, and it is a harvest festival named for the Celtic sun god Lugh and his foster mother Nas, who the story goes that she sacrificed herself to bring bounty to the land, and we cannot harvest what the earth will not give us. So appreciating Mother Earth, honoring the harvest. It was also traditionally a time when people would hand fast, so there were often weddings, lots of feasting, fires, good times. So we're going to take a look at what your messages are for this Sabbath cycle. So I like to do these Sabbath readings with the timelines kind of open. So for each sign, it has been slightly different. The timelines for some of them, there hasn't been a full timeline, but I usually look at it as Sabbath to Sabbath. So if you're looking at a cycle from a full year cycle would be to Lughnasadh of the next year, a half year cycle would be to Beltane, right? Beltane? Nope, Imbolc. There we go. Imbolc on February 1st. And then we have the others, the solstices and the equinoxes and that kind of thing. So we're just going to take a look at what messages are coming through for you, Scorpio. I have a barking dog in the background, so I hope it's not too distracting. So Scorpio, we're starting off with the Queen of Swords. There's a need for discernment and for clear... I'm going to pause. Okay, so for clear and decisive communication. There's also this kind of feeling of being bored of someone or something, and so trying not to take out that boredom on another person. I think we're safe. There was barking dogs, and then there was a crying baby, and it was like, and people like loud chatting right outside my window. So we're gonna give this another shot. Okay, so for you, we have this like not taking your boredom out on other people, or not taking. There could also be some kind of paranoia or suspicion that comes up in this next thing, but we're going to keep pulling some cards to see what this might be about. The Ace of Swords. Okay, yes. So you have this new idea or this new beginning coming in for you, and this epiphany that's going to come in, charge in, and shoot right through to the heart of something. So this may be something that you have a long-awaited epiphany or a long-awaited insight and clarity of vision. And I feel like what's happening here is that you have this new insight and you have this new, like, you can see through everything, but you have the old situation that you still have to contend with. And so that's where that like not taking out your boredom or not taking out this new insight on the old. But let's keep going. Let's see what else. Okay, we have the Nine of Swords reverse. Okay, this is a situation, so many swords. Definitely a lot to do with the mind and a lot to do with thinking. There's been like this looming, almost torturous loudness in your head potentially, or like this, battling with some kind of idea or battling with some kind of, this is a card of anxiety. It's also a card of like, waking up in the middle of the night with some sort of stress. So I see high levels of stress here coming to an end, which is amazing. So they're coming to an end. There isn't as much looming over your head because you've had this clear vision. Okay, and you're able to discern where you need to go next and what is happening next. Like, you have this insight, and because of this insight, you are released or freed from some sort of anxiety. Now, I think what's happening here, and what I'm intuitively getting from this message, is that you then sort of turn your sword toward anything that was associated with what created the anxiety. So for instance, if it was a job, it's sort of like taking on a certain attitude toward coworkers, or toward an industry, or toward something. So you're being warned about what you say or how you share your experience in that situation. And then we have the Three of Chalices. Okay, this could be closely associated with a friend group, or some kind of event or situation. For some of you, I'm getting that you've become very clear about an event such as a wedding. This clarity could also come through, the warning, could come through in how you approach any social situation. So, for instance, if you are going into a social situation, recognize, the Queen of Swords can be kind of cold sometimes. So, yeah, just being careful how you direct that sharp energy. And you may have some new insights about people. There could be some really really clear and high and potent insights about people. And just remembering that not everyone is ready to face themselves. These are very interesting messages. Okay, we also have the Moon in reverse. Wow. Okay, so something that once felt like a dreamy illusion, something that once felt like you were kind of tucked away, and you were kind of tucked away in this dreamy space. I'm really getting relationship vibes here, as well as I feel like this is a situation where you were very vulnerable. You opened yourself up to being vulnerable, and you allowed someone to get close to you. You allowed people to get close to you, or you felt like you perceived that people were getting close to you, or they were getting into your inner core. But there could have been deceptive energies around you. And this truth is being revealed with the Moon reversed and the Ace of Swords. A truth has been revealed. So there could be lies specifically related to social situations or events. Again, so this may be revealed through an event or through a gathering. You may come to this insight through a gathering, or it could be in relation to a friend group, or I'm hearing something for some of you, an ex-partner. Okay, so there could be an ex-partner coming through, or you may discover that someone has been dishonest about their relationship with someone else. So we are going to, when I receive the cards reversed, I'm going to start to turn them over, and we get a whole new perspective on the reading. But first, we're going to clarify the Nine of Swords. Okay, we have the Ace of Pentacles reversed. Part of your anxiety is that you felt or sensed, or there was supposed to be a new beginning. There was supposed to be the beginnings of something that was like a new business, or a new job, or a new home, something that was a foundation, something that you were, there was some kind of offer that, like, I feel like you had this offer come in. So for some of you, this was an engagement, okay? That's one example, and I'll use that as an example, but there's also some of you where this is a business kind of thing. So let's say it was an engagement. So you received you entered into this engagement, and there was something about it that was making you lose sleep, and you couldn't figure out what it was. There was some sort of anxiety, deep anxiety, that was coming along with it, and it's because there was something that was Though you were in this dreamy space, you were also in this space of anxiety, not really feeling like things were kind of stacking up. Okay, so each time maybe you tried to build this foundation, you may take one step forward and 3 steps back, or it may have gone very easily and then kind of crashed and burned. But let's clarify some more. So for the 3 of Cups, we have the 10 of Swords reversed. Yeah, this situation has caused you a lot of pain. Okay, with the 9 of Swords reversed and the 10 of Swords, this to me indicates that there were times of intense pressure and intense pain. This is a sharper kind of pain, and it's a sort of mental pain in the sense that you may get caught up in loops and crossed thoughts. So you may have been experiencing like, I believe one thing and then I believe the opposite, and then and like not really knowing where to stand. And that's because you were in this dreamy energy where, there were some sort of illusions or delusions even that were really enticing. For the 10 of Swords in reverse could indicate that there is something is stalled in this situation, something stalled in moving forward. But I also like to interpret this as, before it turns upright, this could just be that there's some pressure being released. Okay, so like the swords are kind of, in the traditional card, this is my favorite card in the deck. This is the end of a cycle, but before the cycle can end, you have to release some kind of pressure. There's unfinished business here. So that's why you're being warned not to take your boredom or to take your new insights out on other people. This may be not sharing ideas. Maybe you're moving forward with something and you are not meant to share what that is yet. Definitely keeping a lid on it. Okay, and to clarify the Ace of Swords and the Moon reverse. We have the 9 of Pentacles reversed. Yeah, this has really been with the Ace of Pentacles reversed and the 9 of Pentacles reversed. This has really, it's, I don't know how else to say this. It's fucked with your independence. Okay, so it's kept you from growing your own resources almost. Like it's kept you, in a place of dependency, possibly. With the 9 of Pentacles, like when we look at her upright, the 9 of Pentacles is a woman who is enjoying the bounty, like what she's grown, what she's created. And so I feel like you've been growing something, but it hasn't been able to fully blossom because you've lacked this clarity. Because you haven't had this information. But you are getting this information. This information is coming through in the next few months, I think. But let's see. Okay, and we have and we have the Tower. So the Tower for me here with you, it feels like whatever is going to be the kind of collateral or whatever is lost to this Tower crumbling. The Tower is like a sudden, this is an epiphany. The Tower is also a sort of epiphany where I feel like for you, it's like things that are already dead are what you're going to be kind of releasing. And so you may not have known that they were fully there, but they've lived out their life. Because as soon as these illusions are stripped away, you start to see all the dead things around you, and you want to cut them out immediately. But you've got to wait for this Tower moment. Okay, when the Tower comes in, it's like the divine shaking everything up, and then things can start to rebuild in new and different spaces. So with the Tower, that then, I was wondering why I wasn't shifting the cards upright because I've been doing it in different ways for each reading, but it's because we needed the Tower energy in order to see what we've got here. So this anxiety, or this this stress or this pointedness is able to, it's like it's able to release. Okay, so maybe you've been holding this in, and so with it reversed, that was a positive sign. We didn't need to transmute that energy necessarily, but what I'm seeing here is that when the Tower comes in, the anxiety, it's not like it comes back, but it's able to kind of, you're able to acknowledge it, and you're able to say, that was something that was like, that was bullshit, you know? With the Moon turning upright, I feel like this, again, we don't necessarily want the Moon to turn upright. The reversals that were happening in this situation were good for us. But I feel like with the Moon, this is again speaking of the kinds of reflections you're able to have. So when you look back on this situation, whatever it was that that caused you this anxiety and that kept you in the dark and that kept you in this trapped, I feel like, in certain spaces, trapped in a certain cycle of thinking. Whatever that was, you're going to be able to have that reflective time and like start to understand that better, which is then going to help you to build this new foundation. Okay, so we're turning the Ace of Pentacles upright, and this is a fresh seed, a new beginning. And it's like these reflections are what the catalyst for you to start this new beginning. So out of this scorched earth and out of this wreckage, you rebuild a house. So whatever you are rebuilding is coming out of the wreckage of this situation. And then we have here the Ten of Swords upright. So this is the end of this cycle. This is the end of thinking in that way, or processing in that way, or continuously repeating a similar cycle. So maybe this has happened to you before, this situation, and you kind of had it in the back of your mind. You had those suspicions. I think I said there was paranoia here at some point. So that could be resonant with you. And this is about that, like, being over. Okay, so that you can come to this new beginning, this new idea, and bring it into the material world. Start to construct it from that idea. And then with the Nine of Pentacles, this leads to independence. This leads to financial independence, I feel, for you, and a certain kind of independence that has to do with skills or abilities. I feel like there may have been someone in your life, someone in this situation perhaps, or whatever this was. There was a situation where you really relied on other people for certain things, and I see you teaching yourself those new skills and abilities and not being necessarily reliant on people. Or on the people for that, but also recognizing like how much you have, how much you already have within yourself. I feel like more than building, it's uncovering. Okay, so we're going to take some oracle cards to see if there's any additional messages or any additional advice. So when is this going to happen even? The Wolf, beware who you trust. You may want to call on the Wolf for guidance. So that could be, the Wolf can be a really good protective energy, but I also feel like this indicates that there are some people in your social life, and this was indicated here in the rest of the cards, that you already have your suspicions about, and you are most likely right. But it's not time to act on it until until this Tower crumbles. And you'll know the Tower is usually a situation where things like just start falling apart. They just aren't working anymore. We have the Moon again. You will be guided through darkness. Amazing. Yeah, so I feel like this time or this period may be regarded as fairly dark. It may, like not knowing who to trust, maybe not even trusting yourself because of the anxious thoughts and things like that. But once you strip back those illusions, you can't put them back. And maybe at some point you'll want to, or maybe you're completely done with it, and this is going to feel, I feel like this is going to feel like release. Like you've been released from some sort of contract or something that you didn't even know you were in on. And then we have the wizard. Use your skills and to aid others. Yeah, didn't I say the thing about skills? This is you developing your skills and abilities. The wizard also has that kind of magician energy where you're conjuring a new reality for yourself. You're creating this new beginning with this new idea that you have of yourself, of your life, of others. There's some sort of foundation here that is not, it's not as safe as you think it is because of the people involved, I feel. That could be a message just for some of you, but I feel that, you may be holding onto it because you feel like it is a safe path, or it is safer than other paths, but because of the people involved, it's not as safe as you think. It's not as secure. I'm hearing 5 moon cycles. So 5 moon cycles takes us to winter solstice. So I think that you will see this kind of play out, and you'll be starting to rebuild the foundation around winter solstice, or at least you'll have some sort of, you'll definitely have this truth revealed to you before that time. Okay? So that's what I have for you, Scorpio. I hope this was helpful, interesting, whatever you needed it to be. If you want to book a personal reading with me, my information is in the description box below. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever it is that people do. And leave a comment. Let me know if you like to see my face or if you prefer just seeing my hands and the cards. And yeah, we'll see you soon.